a corporate mentor, educationalist, psychologist, and personality development pioneer. With over 32 years of in depth research and professional experience, he made history in the year 2000 when he became the first doctorate in personality development from the United States. He studies psychology, human relations, and the arts in depth and has conducted extensive research on personality. Dr. Tushar Guha is our guest speaker for today, and his research work is the basis of all management and education models of Nityanjali, specializing in training in personality development and behavioral sciences, and has been represented on TEDx and Harvard School of Education. I don't think we could have had a better moment today. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the one and only Dr. Tushar Guha. Thank you so much for being here, sir. It's such a pleasure to have you. Sir, you are in mute. Can you please unmute yourself? I can't hear you.
Thank you so much.
Welcome, sir. It's such a pleasure to have you. And I think everybody at Kshitij has been looking forward to this workshop because sitting at homes, we've always wanted to add layers to our personality, and we're pretty sure that you're going to play a very instrumental part for us to do that.
Do I start now?
Yes, sir. I think let's
Okay,
just
right.
wait for a couple of more minutes.
Okay, fine. You give me a sign when I should start.
I'll give you a thumbs up.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
To all the people in the audience here, guys, please make sure that you keep interacting with Sir and keep posting your questions. I'm going to be noting down a few of them, and there are a few questions that I personally want to ask him to add layers to my personality. So please make sure that you keep noting down and jotting down all your questions that you want to ask. We'll just wait for a couple of more minutes, and at 5 p.m. sharp, we will begin with the personality development workshop. In the meanwhile, before Sir starts off, I would like to introduce Kshitij to you. Kshitij is, of course, the annual International Intercollegiate Cultural Festival of Mithaibai College, which has been prospering since 2007 with a working committee of 700 plus students organizing musical concerts such as Salim Suleiman, Vishal Shekhar, Mohit Chauhan, and Farhan Akhtar. And we've got 50 plus events every year that we have. They've also introduced India's first ever Swachhathon, which is the Green Run, which is a 7 kilometer long marathon. This year, of course, due to the unforeseen circumstances, Kshitij is being held online, and even then, they are connecting a grand working committee via video conferencing apps. Kshitij is a platform for college students from all over the country to portray their talents. They've conducted various online activities so far in the pandemic with a set list of big personalities. This is just a glimpse of what is yet to come in Mithaibai Kshitij, and we as a team are really working diligently towards creating a beautiful experience for everybody. So that, ladies and gentlemen, for you is Kshitij, and I think it's 5 p.m. and it's a perfect time for us to start with the workshop. So, Dr. Tushar Guha, sir, over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Nishchal Sharma. Amazing introduction, and I'm already very impressed. The way you introduce, you have a lovely personality. I need to thank Kshitij and the organizers, Yashvi ma'am, as well as Prisha ma'am, and you and the others, not only for inviting me, but for the charming title you have given to the program, Sapno Ka Safar. Indeed, personality development is a journey, and journey of dreams. But this dream is not when we sleep and we dream. This is daydreaming. That is fantasy. And what is fantasy? It is positivity. It is optimism. And personality development is all about optimism. I'd like to share, my audience is very young, and I'm a very, very old man, right? I'd like to tell you something. I always believe there are two kinds of faces. One is a constipated face, one is a loose motion face. But in Hindi, we call it Thobra Suj and Hasmukh. And in every crowd, there will be 5 to 10% of people like this forever who has a face like mine. You wish them, you say hi, they say hi. There's no brightness ever. And if you say, what happened to you? Nothing happened to me. Are you ill? No, I am well. Then I feel when you're well, you're like this. What will happen when you're ill? And on the other side, we have the loose motion face that Dr. Tushar Guha has, who is forever smiling, bright, energetic, jumping around all the time. And I've had students who told me when I was 60 years old, now I'm 73, that, sir, I hope you people know that I'm also a performing artist. I'm a dancer, singer, actor, dubbing artist, and all, and I still perform. He said, sir, at this age, you should not be dancing, you know. I said, why? As long as people are wanting to see me, it's fine. And I'm enjoying dancing. And I know I'm old. I know I'm not going to jump too much, because if I fall, if I crack my bones, it will not get joined again. But then, that's me. And I always believe people should have a loose motion face, because it spreads optimism. It spreads positivity. You all are young people. As you grow, you will read books on positivity. It says people who think positive, good things happen to them. People who think negative, bad thing happens to them. And I have a lot of people coming to me, sir, मेरे साथ ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है? मैं बोला तुम ऐसे हो इसीलिए तुम्हारे साथ ऐसे हो रहा है. बोलते सर ऐसे कैसे? मैं बोलता हूँ ऐसे ऐसे. Because life is, I have to have a look for it. So I believe, so it's me. So I believe if I'm not beautiful in my own eyes, how can I be beautiful in the eyes of others? And who am I or anybody else to sit on a judgment of a fellow human being? Now, these two sentences must go together. The first one oozes confidence. Second one brings in humility. But if you isolate, the first one goes into bragging that I am the ultimate, which is wrong. And the second one makes us over humble. That is also wrong. You will notice that we feel I've been taken for granted, but who allowed? I have allowed people to kick me around. So I cannot blame anybody else. I always believe if anybody behaves badly with me, it is me who have allowed them to, because I have my dignity. Nobody dare deal with me in any other manner other than I want. So taking the premises from these two sentences, this is the starting sentences of my PhD research. You know, just a background. I started my research unknowingly when I was 15 years old. In fact, I started Nityanjali when I was 15 years old. I never knew that this is going to become a global institution one day. Today, having 250 people working across the globe, and ours is an NGO. But then, as I kept on researching, and it was unheard of, personality development was unheard of in the 60s. People would find it very funny. And I would be also called a funny man, stupid man. And I hailed from a very high profile family. So it used to be a bade aadmi ka, bigra hua beta, trying to do things like that. I was studying in Wilson College and I used to stay in Wilson College hostel. So I would be called names, but I loved doing what I loved. I loved me being a dancer. I'm actually even a Kathak dancer, folk dancer, and Western dancer, and an actor. But I loved doing, and I cared two hoots as to what people said, because as long as I knew what I was doing, I was enjoying and I was not harming anybody else. And as I kept on researching, from one thing, I always say my success is by default. I kept on doing what I wanted to do, and that brought success. So it is always that we need to love what we do. That means we need to have a passion. And when we love something that we do, we achieve success. And when we have success, you get money. And then you become famous. And that's what I have experienced. And that's what I'd like to tell all of you. Whatever you love, don't stop it. Do it, and you will be able to excel. During my research, I found something called 3 S's. That is the basis of personality development. Number 1 is self-confidence. Number 2 is sustenance of rationality. Number 3 is self-reliance. In Hindi, if I say, Atmavishwas, Atmanirikshan Shamta, Atmanirbharta. Okay. Now, I believe we have to have all 3. But then, when self-confidence, I think forget about me, even you have been told right from childhood, you must have self-confidence. All of us, we must have self-confidence. If you see the Sound of Music, it says, you must have confidence in confidence. But nobody tells us how to have it. I will share with you how you're going to have it. So there are 3 ways of developing confidence. Number 1, is the body. So now, before I go further, let me tell you any personalities of a person. And what is a person made of? Is made of 2 components. What usually we think personality development means one who dresses up well and walks well and speaks stylishly and eats with a fork and knife. but that's only the exterior. But the interior also has to grow. So personality development is the balance between the outside and the inside of a person. And when I say outside and inside, every coin has two sides. Even a human being has two sides. One side is the outside, that is the body, which is concrete. The other side is the inside, I will call it mind, which is abstract. But in mind, under mind is emotion. But you have also intellect. You also have spirituality, that is compassion, not religion. There's a difference between spirituality and religion. And you know, all three are abstract. Emotion, intellect, and compassion, you cannot see, you cannot touch, but you can feel. But body, you can touch. So there has to be a balance between the two. And I always believe abstract has more power than the concrete. The abstract gets across to the people through the concrete. And I'm not saying, look at the prism. We get 7 colors. What's the other color behind? Is white, which cannot be seen. And it's so powerful that we see the 7 colors. So we are like an orange. For an orange, if it is rotten, you don't have to peel it. You will know it is rotten. So similarly, for a human being, if I'm good inside, I don't have to show it. People will know it. And this needs to get reflected. Now, what is goodness? It is not that you have to go to mosque and church and temple, or you have to do a lot of puja part. No. You have to respect people. If we have to understand people, I have to be compassionate. That's all. That's all I have to be. But because there's a saying in English proverb, we cannot fool all the people all the time. So if I'm not good inside, a day will come where everybody will get to know I'm a bad person. Having said that, let me come back to the self-confidence issue. So how do I do it? First, I know my body. I want to ask my young audience, you don't have to answer me, question yourself. Have you seen your body naked? You know, in the 60s and 70s, when I used to say, people used to look down, ki ye kya baat kar raha hai? But I am not asking you to come on the street and take off your clothes. I'm asking you, have you seen yourself in your privacy? Have you felt proud about your body, about your eyebrow, eyes, nose, lips, ears, throat, chest, breast, stomach, thighs, calf, toes, even including your private parts? Do you know them? Do you feel proud? I have people who come, sir, I am so fat, or sir, I am so thin. मैं बोले इसमें क्या फर्क पड़ता है? Be proud. मैं मोटा हूं. अगर मैं तेरे पर गिरूं तो दिखेगा नहीं. अगर मैं पतला हूं, I'm featherweight. Look at me. And on the other side, we all will be dying one day. अगर आप मोटे हो, तो 4 people cannot carry you. 8 लगेंगे. खाते पीते घर क्यों हूं मैं? अगर मैं पतला हूं, एक ही जन मुझे उठा के ले जाएगा. मैं सोशल वर्कर हूं. Either way, there is a positive side. So know your body, but then there's a little seriousness into it. When I say know your body, you know what you know? You know hygiene and health. We have to be careful. Do I smell? Do I have an odor in my mouth? My eyes are dirty. You tell me if my eyes are dirty, my mouth is smelling, who is going to talk to me? Or my armpit, see, you people must be traveling in train, right? So when you're traveling in the train and you're holding the handle up there and the tall man's armpit is smelling and the short man's nose is here. And you know how Mumbai locals are. You can't even turn your head. Now, I have every right to make my armpit dirty, but I have no right to give trouble to another man. That is hygiene. But then there is also, then you are a young people. You must also know, I hope you people know, that even your private organs need to be cleaned. But these are education. I'd like to share with my young friends here that most of us are literate, but we are not necessarily educated. There's a difference between education and literacy. All जिनको पढ़ना लिखना आता है जरूरी नहीं है कि वो शिक्षित है. I know a lot of people who do not know to read and write are really, really learned, which I shall explain a little later. So health is one, and you also know your system. Like in Mumbai, almost all of us suffer from gastric trouble, right? So we should know that I have that trouble. So at a frequency, I should eat something, 2 biscuits or something, whatever. So that's one thing. Then, do you know, all of you must have heard of breast cancer. How many of you know even men get breast cancer? Most people will be ignorant about it, but men get. So men and women need to check their breasts periodically. And if they have it, get it addressed and operated, otherwise it is going to turn into cancer. I have had this kind of personal experiences in my own life. Okay. Now I will justify to you. Psychology says 50% of self-confidence comes from the body. I will prove it to you right now. You will look at it. The day you go for a formal function, for an interview, you take a lot of time to choose your clothes. And so that I will impress the people there. And we take time, even the previous night, ye shirt pehnunga, ye trouser pehnunga, ladies ka to pucho hi mat. Amount of lipstick and hairstyle they will be doing just to impress. Or when you're going to a wedding, or even to play dandiya. Kitna saj dhaj ke jate hain. At this age, what is going to happen to you, all of you? Kuch hota hai, kuchi hota hai. You are forever trying to attract the others. It's very, very healthy and normal. I'm not only going to say that healthy and normal of attracting the opposite sex, anybody you want to attract. But so that means body reacts to clothes. So this proves that self-confidence stems from knowing the body, because I feel good. And there is another serious out of it. When I am very proud, I need to be proud about my body. I should feel proud about my body. I should feel proud about my family, about my mother tongue, about my culture, about my religion, about my tradition. Then you feel proud about your institution. How many of you know the word alma mater? Today, I find nobody knows it. Alma mater is the institution from here you have grown. So we need to be proud about our school. Today, you need to be proud of Mitibai College. You will be alumni of Mitibai. And therefore, one day it comes the national pride. But when I'm not proud about me, when I'm not proud about my family, how can I ever be proud of my country? I feel very pained that we Indians are not very, very proud about our country. Which country or which people, which community does not have bad and good? We all have everything. But why should I be ashamed? I am a very, very proud Indian. I may have had my degree from USA, but believe me, to get my degree, I did not go there. I requested, if I'm creating history, I would like to get it here. And they honored, because I'm very, very proud to be an Indian. I have research in my country. Why should I go somewhere else? I go everywhere. That is for training, but not for this particular purpose. That's the pride that needs to come. And that comes from family. That comes from your traditions. हमें हमारे संस्कार पर गर्व होना चाहिए. कुसंस्कार is bad, but sanskar is very, very good. Can you believe this? You all will be shocked. Even at this age, now I have reached a stage, even internationally, every time I'm there, every time I'm climbing onto the desk, do you know I touch the desk and pronounce? People will tell me why. I have two reasons. One, I'm a performing artist, so hamare mein manch pranam is a must. But I feel that stage is giving me the power. So I'm obliged to that platform. If it shrinks, I'm over. I can't. And I say the acknowledgement of the contribution of inanimate objects. This is where the first part of self-confidence comes in its body. Second is we should never compare ourselves with others. But unfortunately, from the day we are born, we are always compared. Tu aisa kyun hai? Tera bhai, tera bahan, tera dost, tera cousin, aisa hai. मैं बोलता हूँ, there are three sentences in psychology. We are like other people, we are like some other people, we are like no other people. The fact that no two people are alike, so I am different. आज के बच्चे तो बोल देते हैं, हाँ मैं I am like this, मैं नहीं बदलूंगा, क्या कर लेगा तुम? So I am me. I have to be me. So I should never compare. So ask that if you have been compared, stop that comparison. Comparison has to happen to self. What I was, what I am, what I'm going to be. Not anything else. No two people are alike, no two situations are alike and can ever be alike. That brings me to the third point of self-confidence is every individual has some plus, some minus, some positive, some negative. Let us identify my own positive. Let us also identify my negatives. Now, that positive could be anything. I'll give you an example. Take, for instance, I was born a sixth child. We are six brothers, and I was a fifth child, and all my brothers were sports persons and all, but not me, because I used to faint and all that. And I think I used to move my hands, so I was put in a dance school. Okay, and I became a very brilliant dancer. And I realized I just love dance. And as I said, I used to be laughed at because because aaj bhi dance is never considered a very great profession. Okay, you can earn money, you become a choreographer, but it is not given that standing that it should be. And I always kept on dancing. And believe me, when I was in Wilson College in the hostel, people used to come in, and I was a damn good-looking guy when I was of your age. Wonderful curly hair, chikniya jo bolte hai, I was like that. Okay. And I used to hear lots of comments about me, to the extent in those days, G-A-Y word was not there. We used to be called homosexuals. So people used to say, he must be one. But that did not deter me. I continued to dance. And you know what happened? Today I look back, if at the age of 17 and 18, I would have stopped dancing, I would not have reached where I have reached today. I would not be here to talk to you today, because my subject of PhD is utilizing the elements of performing arts into day-to-day life along with psychology to have a complete personality. Then the other side would have gone. By profession, I'm a printer. But this made me world famous. Look, a dance which in the eyes of others was bad, it made me what I am. So every one of us have some quality. Identify. Now, who is going to identify my strength? We will say my parents, my brothers, my teachers. I said no. Me, I. Why? Every relation is need-based. They will look at it from their perspective, so they will not know what I really cherish, what I really enjoy. So you do that. But now, how will you know that is your quality? There is a way for that also. Anything that you do that gives you joy but does not harm anybody else, that's your quality. You speak lies and you say that's my quality. That is not correct because it is harming. You steal or you hit, but that cannot be your quality because you're harming somebody else. But if you're dancing, if you're acting, you're playing, you're studying, or you're cooking, so you're not harming anybody. And you are getting your happiness within. Most of us, you'll already notice all your hobbies and interests, most of you have started stopping your hobbies and interests because you all are, I think now almost 17, 18 years old. People start giving up one by one. And by that time, we'll be 30 and 40. आप कोई अच्छा गाना गाएगा, आप क्या बोलोगे मालूम है? मैं भी बहुत अच्छा गाना गाता था. कौन बोला था बंद करने को? अच्छा पे, I used also to draw very well. Who stopped you? You stopped everything. And then you say, मेरे पास कुछ भी नहीं है, क्योंकि आपके पास होना ही नहीं चाहिए, because you are like that. So you have to pursue your interest and hobby. Therefore, you need to identify. Similarly, negative, anything that gives me restlessness, that means it's not a very good thing. It is not matching with my philosophy, my ideals, my values. So therefore, you know it is. So you identify your plus, grow on your plus, and rectify your minus. As I told you about dance, SE, I also knew my minus. But there is a difference between knowing and accepting. I knew that I used to be short-tempered. But, by the time I have a lot of CDs. In one of my CD records, it is there that at the age of 33, one day I got angry and I broke a glass. Then you know what happened? I saw fear in my wife and my daughter's eyes. Then I felt, what a horrible man I am. The two people I care most are frightened of me. I'm a disgrace as a human being. And I'm giving lectures to the world. I have no business to do that. And over a period of time, I molded myself, I changed, and I received appreciation from my wife. You all are too young. You all are still in the phase of girlfriend and boyfriend. But wives seldom appreciate husbands, or husbands seldom appreciate wives. But my wife told me, you have evolved so much. Evolution is non-stop. Learning is non-stop. One reason I come for this kind of webinars or seminars or conferences, you know why? Because I get to learn. Because I am fortunate to interact with 100, 200 to 10, 1,000 people. And they are unfortunate only to listen to one man. So the more I interact, more I learn. So identify your strength, grow on your strength, and while trying to rectify your minus. वो इतना बड़ा हो जाएगा कि मेरे जो नुक्स हैं, they will get hidden. So make an umbrella of your goodness. I come to the second is, here, because we cannot directly interact, we always ask, fill in the blank. Human beings are dash animals. Everybody says we are social. It is correct, but it is wrong. Because in third standard, first we are taught we are rational animals. Only human beings can think, other animals cannot think, but they are social and they're emotional. Unfortunately, we human beings, as we grow up, we stop thinking. We don't question because we are told not to question. मैंने बोला, I'm senior to you. बस सुनो, मैंने बोल दिया, that's what you have to do. And I am just the opposite. I believe you have every right to ask question. Yes, of course, how you ask a question is. Now you cannot question me. Hey, baldi buddha, bol, mere ko ye janne ka person. That you can't do. You have to talk to me respectfully. Then only I will answer. But you have a right to question. All of us have a right to question. I believe no person is superior or inferior to others. We happen to be senior or junior by virtue of being born early or later. I am not greater than you. I may be talking to you today. मैं कैसे great हो सकता हूँ? How I can compare myself and you. You are 17, 18, 19 years old and I'm 73 years old. The situations are not the same. Given that time, you will possibly be 10 times ahead of me. So therefore, reasoning is a very important thing. Now, how to have the reasoning also? There are 3 methods. The first method is calming of the mind. क्योंकि जैसे मैंने बोला अपने शरीर को जानो लेकिन आपको मन को नहीं जान सकते बिकॉज माइंड इज वेरी चंचल हर सेकंड पे बदलता रहता है तो ऑल दैट वी कैन डू इज काम द माइंड हाउ डू वी डू इट आइदर थ्रू योगा और थ्रू मेडिटेशन और being alone with yourself. I will suggest to all of you that spend 10 to 15 minutes every day only with yourself. और कोई जगह नहीं है बाथरूम में अगर बाथरूम अच्छा है तो बाथरूम में जाके बैठ जाओ मैं करता था जब भी मैं young था I used to do all my writing. I've written a number of books and I used to do all on the potty. My bathroom was very, very beautiful. If bathroom smelled, then of course you can't do anything. So I used to have a fan there. I used to switch on the fan and 10:30 ke baad then made some plays and songs and even the books that I've written, I used to write all in the sitting on the potty, not doing potty, only writing thing. So, but that moment is your very, very personal moment. We have a right to love ourselves. We have a right to live for ourselves. That is not selfishness. Unfortunately, we have been taught कि अपने बारे में सोचो तुम्हारे जैसा स्वार्थी और कोई नहीं होता. किसने बोला? I can love myself, but yes, that I के बाद full stop नहीं होना चाहिए. I के बाद dot 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 we हो जाना चाहिए. मैं से हम बनना पड़ेगा. I से we बनने पड़ेंगे हमको. So that is something that we have to do. So spend your time there, being alone with yourself. And there is also another thing is loving inanimate objects. Most people say, how can you love inanimate objects? I will prove it to you that you love. On the side of the bed you sleep, you're not willing to change it with anybody ever. कोई आएगा बोला नहीं मेरे को यही तकिया चाहिए. I want this blanket only. Why? क्यों? दूसरा तकिया होगा तो नींद का क्या है? Because that is my comfort zone. Forget about this. So in the class, the bench where you sit, if somebody else comes and sits, you say, get up, I'm sitting there. क्यों? दूसरे जगह में बैठेगा आपको सुनाई नहीं देगा, समझेगा नहीं. But that's my comfort zone. What's wrong? And I need to, because having material is not a crime, but we are even made to feel having material is a crime. अगर मैं खुद कमा के मैं एयर कंडीशन खरीदा, कार खरीदा, बंगला खरीदा, इसमें पाप क्या है? चोरी खरीद की, डाकत थोड़ी डाले. So that's mine. So acknowledge that gives you comfort. The second point is EFT, note this, it is called emotional freedom therapy. All of us, at certain time in our life, we get bogged down with a lot of stress and we feel very sad. So what do? We should not be going and telling another person, not because the other person is bad. We say even walls have ears, not that the other person is bad, but he may not be able to understand in the right context. मैंने बोला अब वो जब उसको रिलेट करेगा उसके 2 शब्द जोड़ देंगे, remember the meaning will become something else. So therefore EFT you have to do, which is not diary writing. You must, whenever you're filled with this, take a sheet of paper, write down sab kuch hua. Take for instance, I'll give you, say your lecturer fired you and told you, why did you do this? Now you got very angry on the lecturer and you saw one of your friend also talking to the lecturer. So naturally what is going to happen to me? That friend must have gone and, जाके अंदर जाके सर को ऐसा ऐसा बोला रहेगा. So you write, that fellow rascal, what does he think of us? चमचा कहीं का. And सर के बारे में भी लिखो, वो हमेशा कान का पतला है, हमेशा दूसरे का सुनता रहता है. Once you have written, what have you done? You have given out your pent-up feeling. Now read the sheet. Then you will notice that everything is not true. Read it one more. After one more hour, you will find 50% is not true. Then destroy the paper. Why? You should never keep the paper because one, you have the habit of reading it, but suppose it goes to your friend, you spoil your friendship. And if it goes to your sir, you had it. So do not keep the paper, but it is called psychological puking. Like अगर हम लोग ओवर फीडिंग हो जाता है, देखना उंगली देके उल्टी करवाते हैं, तो ऐसा ही जब मन भर आता है उसको get. This leads me to the third option, which says self-reliance. We must be independent. Why did I speak about EFT? कब तक दूसरे के ऊपर डिपेंड करते रहेंगे? I have to do my own self. Today, Prime Minister has already said, आत्मनिर्भर होना चाहिए. मैं तो हमेशा बोलता हूं आत्मनिर्भर होना चाहिए अपने सोच में, अपने डिसीजन में, अपने अंडरस्टैंडिंग में. मैं सुनूंगा सबका. इनफैक्ट इन द कॉर्पोरेट आई से वी मस्ट बी डेमोक्रेटिकली ऑटोक्रेटिक. इट्स अ वेरी बिग सेंटेंस. डेमोक्रेटिकली ऑटोक्रेटिक. सुनूंगा सबका, लेकिन I should have my own thinking power, my own capacity. I like to share with you from where I picked up. As I was researching, I put first as self-confidence, second as sustenance, but still I used to feel very, uncomfortable. Something is missing. And I used to travel across this country to different villages, right? Kerala से लेकर के हरियाणा, गुजरात, महाराष्ट्र, असम, सब जगह में. मैं during research, I even slept under trees just to know human relations. So I'm going to tell you an incident. I'm going to use a slight unparliamentary language and in Hindi, don't mind, but it's very relevant. If you go from Maharashtra to Gujarat, the last station is Dhanu. In Dhanu, there used to be, when that time I was 25 years old. And remember, I was very proud and I was very snobbish that I was a son of a rich man. I was doing my PhD. I used to think no end of myself. Here I had a lot of learnings. So I went there to study a family. And it was a family of one old lady, 80-year-old, her son, daughters-in-law, her children. And in Marathi, we call them Aji. I know she was totally illiterate. So I used to think, unpad, gawar kahi ki. Up now, what? And they never had toilets. They had to go to answer the nature's call to the jungle nearby. Now everything has changed over the years. And I used to visit them at different times just to understand relationships. अब ये जो अजी थी 80 years की, पता है वो क्या बोलती थी? 24 घंटा आप देखना, very old people keep on repeating the same thing over and over again. पता है वो क्या बरबर करती थी? Here is unparliamentary language. वो बोलती थी, मैं तो किसी पर निर्भर नहीं करती, मैं तो किसी पर निर्भर नहीं करती, मेरे लिए कोई कुछ करता नहीं है, मैं तो अपना खाना खुद खाती हूँ, मैं अपना खाना खुद हाँकती हूँ. और जब भी देखो यही, तो I was 25. I said, क्या बात करती है? गंवार कहीं की, अनपढ़ कहीं की, अशिक्षित कहीं की. Done. One day, 6 o'clock, I went there. I suddenly find this Aji, लोटे में पानी भर के, she was going to relieve herself. Now उनका 16 साल का grandson आता है, बोलता है आजी आजी, हर रोज तो बोलती रहती है तेरे लिए कोई कुछ करता नहीं है, मैं तो तेरे लिए खाना नहीं खा सकता, तेरा लोटा मुझे दे दे, मैं तेरे लिए हाक कर रहा हूं. And the Aji said, छोड़ मेरे को. I started laughing because believe me, 6 o'clock you are wanting to do potty and somebody says you don't, I will. क्या हालत होगा सोच के देखो. तो मैं भी बहुत हंसा. But two things came into my mind. I said, this lady is educated. She's not literate. I am literate, but I'm uneducated. She has 80 years wisdom and experience in her life, which I don't. And what was she telling us? She was telling us, look, I'm 80 years old. I'm not bedridden. Nobody has to clean my toilet. Look, I'm 80 years old. Nobody has to feed me. I am so self-reliant. I am so independent. Okay. This is what I'm trying to tell you is I learned it from there. The self-reliance is a must. Self-reliance of thought. But before, as I said, concrete comes before. So we must do our own things. I do not know how many of you sew your own buttons. How many of you iron your own clothes? How many of you make your own bed? Do you help your mother in the kitchen? Do you lay the table? This is the home is mine. ये जो छोटे छोटे काम भी अगर करोगे आपको यकीन नहीं आएगा आज भी. Not because it is lockdown. I have cooks, I have everything. But whenever I am at home, I see to it I cook one dish. Because that's the way I belong to my family. My family is very small, me and my wife now, because daughter is married. But that's the way I feel, because other than the lockdown, 20 days I have been traveling every month. So the 10 days I'm there. How do I make it up? I have to share in everything with my wife because she feels then ये घर उनका भी है. हकीकत में घर तो मेरा भी है ना, हम दोनों को. But we have, with due respect to all the boys, I always talk about boy child education. We men must get liberated. We say women's liberation, but I refuse. I say we men must be liberated. We are not. We do not have gender equation. Who the hell are we? Who the hell are we to decide that the woman has to be emancipated? We are not emancipated. We are inhibited. You see, when we see the body, you know what happens? Our physical inhibition goes. And then our mental inhibition goes. As a performing artist, we are very non-inhibited people. Look at just now, I just spoke to you about self-reliance, apna khana, apna hagna. You will not be able to speak this on a forum. बिकॉज आप 10 बार सोचोगे बोलू तो क्या बोलू, लोग क्या सोचेंगे. जब मैं कोई गलत बोल ही नहीं रहा हूं, जब मैं सही बात बोल रहा हूं, शिक्षा का बात कर रहा हूं, वेयर इज इट रॉन्ग? I talk to 8th, 9th standard girls and boys about adolescence. I talk to them about periods. What's wrong? Why do we have a taboo? This is personality. Am I open? Am I adaptable to change? Samay ke saath. I may be 73, but I am far more younger than you people are in my thinking. That is very important. And I look rest of the things that personality, everything happens. जैसे आप बड़े होते जाओगे, आप फैशनेबल बन जाओगे, आप अच्छा स्कोर सिला लोगे, अच्छा ये सब कर ही लोगे, उसमें कुछ सीखना नहीं पड़ता है, लेकिन इनसाइट को ग्रो करना बहुत जरूरी हो जाता है. Okay, so this आत्मनिर्भरता has to come. So when we add all these three, I started having a good personality. But then personality has to be accepted by the people around us. If my teacher does not accept me as student, my personality is bad. If my student does not accept me as a teacher, my personality is bad. If my parents do not accept me as their son, then I don't have a personality. When I am a father, when I'm a husband or a wife, I have to fit the role. Tomorrow you all are all going to have professional careers. So there again you have to fit. So we have to be adaptable. How do we become adaptable? It has to be communication oriented. When I say personality, so far I explained the development is communication. If I am not an effective communicator, now what is effective communicator? There is something, a concept you all are too young to know. It is called transaction and analysis. That is, the sender must understand the capacity of the receiver to receive. For instance, now I am speaking to you, so I am the sender. You people are listening to me, so you are the receiver. So I have to know who are you. My office has told me that you all are young boys and girls who all are becoming man and women. So naturally at your age क्या होगा, इसलिए देखो मैंने आपके साथ कुछ कुछ थोबड़ा सूझ ये सब बात की. But same thing when I'm talking to 50 years, I don't talk, because उनके लिए वो जरूरी नहीं है, आपके लिए जरूरी. How will you connect to an old man like me? Tell me. पहली बात तो ये है, निश्चल सर कुछ भी बोला होगा, एवरीबॉडी का ओ माय गॉड सच एन ओल्ड मैन एंड अ बॉल्डी ओल्डी, इसके बारे में हाय है, कितना पकाएगा हमको, ये तो सबको रहेगा. एंड टेल मी अनदर थिंग, निश्चल हैज सच अ ब्यूटीफुल विजुअल, डू आई हैव? व्हाट इज देयर you have that I don't have? You have youth, जवानी आपके साथ है, मेरे को जवानी छोड़ चुकी है. तो व्हाट आई हैव टू डू, आई हैव टू क्रिएट जवानी. आपने देखा होगा ना कि बैठे बैठे में मैं कितना हिल रहा हूं, है ना? तो लोग बोलते हैं बुड्ढा कितना हिलता है, तो मैं हिलूं, तेरा क्या जाता है? बिकॉज आई हैव टू होल्ड योर अटेंशन स्पैन ना. नहीं तो निश्चल, यशवी एंड हु इज दिस, पिस्ता, आप कोई बोला जाएगा किसको पकड़ के लेकर आया था रे तू, और कोई मिला नहीं था क्या? यंग किसी जवान को लेके आता, कम से कम और कुछ तो विजुअल तो होता, नयन सुख तो होता, प्लेजर ऑफ द आईज तो होता. यहाँ पर तो कुछ भी नहीं है. नाउ आई एम क्रिएटिंग अ प्लेजर ऑफ द आईज, आई एम क्रिएटिंग अ प्लेजर ऑफ द ईयर्स. So that is why this is communication has two types, verbal, non-verbal. So verbal is speaking and non-verbal is body language. I'm making it very brief. So I will tell you how voice modulation is to be used. There is something called science of mirror. You know, like, have you seen yourself? Like, we all get angry, we all feel sad, we all laugh. But do you know how you look when you're angry? You don't know. Do you know how you look sad? You don't know, but everybody else knows. आपके प्रोफेसर का भी चेहरा देख के आपको मालूम पड़ जाता है कि अभी मूड ठीक नहीं, अभी बोलने का नहीं. मम्मी के साथ भी ऐसे होता है, दोस्तों के साथ जाना होगा तो यू फाइंड आउट मम्मी का मूड कब ठीक है, which friend your mother likes, you tell that friend go and ask mama, and mama तभी बोलता हाँ जा, तो तवा गर्म होता है, receiving mood. So you must be able to use your, so I have invented science of mirror because I realize what is the science. I'll tell you, like, as a child, all of you must have done it. घर पे आपका guest आते थे, your parents used to say, बेटा वो thirsty crow का story बोलो, and all of you used to say, I will tell. One there's a thirsty crow, he was feeling very thirsty, he looked here and there, there's no water, suddenly he saw a little pot, there's very little water. What did you do? ऑल जो आपने रट्टा मारा था, मेमोरी कार्ड में स्टोर किया था इधर, वो आपने प्रोड्यूस कर दिया. नाउ इफ यू टेक अ कैमरा, व्हेन यू क्लिक, यू फर्स्ट गेट अ नेगेटिव. इवन इन योर टुडेज मोस्ट मॉडर्न थिंग, इंस्टेंट नेगेटिव होके फिर पॉजिटिव आता है. व्हाट डज अ कंप्यूटर डू? देयर इज अ मेमोरी कार्ड. फीड garbage, get garbage. So I realized we all have a memory card. Why don't I use that and then store? Then I know how I look. Then I can control it. And if I don't, if I have a constipated face, I can make it mobile. And if I show excess anger, I can reduce, take, or say voice, say, say Nishchal, you have a girlfriend. Now you cannot, what can I say? I love you. नहीं जमेगा. आपको बोला, I love you. या तो आप होल्ड करने जा, आप खाली ऐसे पकड़ोगे नहीं चलेगा ना, यहाँ से करंट जाना चाहिए कि नहीं. So that is body language. So this has to be, communication has to be like this. तो कोई भी चीज को वॉइस में, गले पे भी इमोशन आना चाहिए, चेहरे पे दिखना चाहिए. I'm just going to try and demonstrate. Initially I thought of showing slides, but I thought एक देख लो बुढ़ा भी ऐसा कर सकता है, इसके लिए बता रहा हूँ. So see, there are exercises like you smile. Okay, you hold the mirror in front of you, you hold the mirror on the right and on the left, but you don't turn your head. So if you hold the mirror like this, you see the front, you hold it head straight. From the angle you see the right profile, then on the left profile. Okay, then you smile. Now when we get very conscious, अगर सभी लोग exercise करते, पता है कैसे होता है? मेरा फोटो देखिए वहां पर, but this is not smile, this is smile. Okay, but we become very conscious, so we have to break this consciousness. Then there are anger, sorrow. So I'll just without count, I will just show you. See, if I say anger, 1, 2, 3, start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. If I say fear, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. If I say sorrow, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. If I say love, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I say greed, then laughter. This once in a lifetime practice karoge, you will be able to control your emotion, because a leader needs to control emotion and expressions. हमारे को कितना भी tragedy हो जाए, I cannot show it in the public because I am the leader. Leader has to have a control. Similarly, voice. I'm going to say a passage in Hindi, and I will tell the passage in 3 different or 4 different tones. I will not change a single word, neither the punctuation. But look, because my voice modulation will be different and my expressions will be different, it will make so much of a difference. The title of the passage is Satya. I start now. 1. प्रश्न उठता है, मानव क्या है, मानवता क्या है, आत्मा क्या है, आत्मता क्या है, रिश्ता क्या है, रिश्ते नाते क्या है. आज इन सब का अंत मुझ में है. मैं ही, केवल मैं वो सत्य हूं. मैं ही मानव और मानवता हूं. आत्मा और आत्मता भी मैं, रिश्ता और रिश्ते नाते भी मैं. इस धरती में बाकी सभी झूठ है, या कोई भी किसी का नहीं, यहाँ सिर्फ स्वार्थ है. विश्वास नहीं होता, विश्वास भी नहीं है. ये सारी बुनियाद अविश्वास पर बनी है. यहाँ जीना जीना नहीं, चुप से साथ साथ चलना है. आज एक ऐसा अंधकार है जिसमें है एक अति सत्य. एक ऐसी शून्यता जहां हार नहीं, जीत नहीं, गम नहीं, खुशी नहीं. अब नैन में आंसू नहीं, हृदय में झंका नहीं, कहीं कुछ भी तो नहीं. वैसे तो सब है पर हो गया बेसुरा. ये शून्यता अकेलेपन से भी गंभीर है. ये वो सत्य है जिसमें कोई सत्य नहीं है. 2. प्रश्न उठता है, मानव क्या है, मानवता क्या है, आत्मा क्या है, आत्मता क्या है, रिश्ता क्या है, रिश्ते नाते क्या है. आज इस सब का अंत मुझ में है. मैं ही, केवल मैं ही वो सत्य हूं. मैं ही मानव और मानवता हूं. आत्मा और आत्मता भी मैं, रिश्ता और रिश्ते नाते भी मैं. इस धरती में बाकी सारी झूठ है, या कोई भी किसी का नहीं, यह सिर्फ स्वार्थ है. विश्वास नहीं होता, विश्वास भी नहीं है. ये सारी बुनियाद अविश्वास पर बनी है. यहाँ जीना जीना नहीं, चुप से साथ साथ चलना है. आज एक ऐसा अंधकार है जिसमें है एक अति सत्य. एक ऐसी शून्यता जहां हार नहीं, जीत नहीं, गम नहीं, खुशी नहीं. अब नैन में आंसू नहीं, हृदय में झंका नहीं, कहीं कुछ भी तो नहीं. वैसे तो सब है पर हो गया बेसुरा. ये शून्यता अकेलेपन से भी गंभीर है. ये वो सत्य है जिसमें कोई सत्य नहीं. तीसरा प्रश्न उठता है, मानव क्या है, मानवता क्या है, आत्मा क्या है, आत्मता क्या है, रिश्ता क्या है, रिश्ते नाते क्या है. आज इन सब का अंत मुझ में है। मैं ही, केवल मैं वो सत्य हूँ। मैं ही मानव मानवता हूँ, आत्मा आत्मता भी मैं, रिश्ता रिश्ते नाते भी मैं। इस धरती में बाकी सभी झूठ है, यहाँ कोई भी किसी का नहीं, यहाँ सिर्फ स्वार्थ है। विश्वास नहीं होता, विश्वास भी नहीं है, ये सारी बुनियाद अविश्वास पर बनी है। यहाँ जीना जीना नहीं, चुप से साथ साथ चलना है। आज एक ऐसा अंधकार है जिसमें है एक अति सत्य, एक ऐसी शून्यता जहाँ हार नहीं, जीतती, गम नहीं, खुशी नहीं, और नैन में आंसू नहीं, हृदय में झटका नहीं, कहीं कुछ भी तो नहीं। वैसे तो सब है, पर हो गया बेसुरा। ये शून्यता कलेपन से भी गंभीर है। ये वो सत्य है जिसमें कोई सत्य नहीं। फोर्थ प्रश्न उठता है, मानव क्या है? मानवता क्या है? आत्मा क्या है? आत्मता क्या है? रिश्ता क्या है? रिश्ते नाते क्या है? आज इन सब का अंत मुझ में है। मैं ही, केवल मैं हो सकता हूँ। मैं ही मानव और मानवता हूँ। आत्मा और आत्मता भी मैं, रिश्ता रिश्ते नाते भी मैं। इस धरती में सभी झूठ है, यहाँ कोई भी किसी का नहीं, यहाँ सिर्फ स्वार्थ है। विश्वास नहीं होता, विश्वास भी नहीं है, ये सारी बुनियाद अविश्वास पर बनी। यहाँ जीना जीना नहीं, चुप से साथ साथ चलना है। आज एक ऐसा अंधकार है जिसमें एक अति सत्य, एक ऐसी शून्यता जहाँ हार नहीं, जीत नहीं, गम नहीं, खुशी नहीं, नैन में आंसू नहीं, हृदय में झंकार नहीं, कहीं कुछ भी तो नहीं। वैसे वैसे तो सब है, पर हो गया बेसुरा। ये शून्यता अकेलेपन से भी गंभीर है। ये वो सत्य है जिसमें कोई सत्य नहीं। I have said a passage continuously without changing a single word. First was anger, second was humor, third was sorrow, fourth was seduction. But even such serious passages, it all depends on me. So the I is a very important thing. मैं अपने आप को साबित करूंगा, मैं अपने आप को लेके आऊंगा। पर्सनालिटी इज दिस, इट इज नथिंग एल्स। हम सबको सुनना है, मेरे वैल्यूज को खोना नहीं है। I will have my traditions, I have my values, I will have my pride, but I will also be adaptable. I have to add my learnings, and there is something more that you have, each one of us will have to learn: observation skill. We have to start छोटी छोटी बात को अपने को नोट करना सीखना पड़ेगा। Small small things, and we need to bring humor. We need to laugh at myself. ठीक है ना, मेरे में ऐसा कार्टून हो, तेरा क्या जाता है? कोई रोता है, बोले कितना रोता है, क्यों नहीं रोऊंगा, मेरा आंसू मैं गिराऊं, तेरा क्या जाता है? Why is there a gender? But we have been told बॉयज को रोना नीचे। किसने बोला रे? काय को मैं नहीं रोएगा, मेरे फादर मदर गुजर गए तो मैं ही रोएगा ना, पब्लिक तो आके नहीं रोएगा, रोएगा तो इट इज वेरी बैड थिंग, नो एक्चुअली स्पीकिंग। तो इट हैज टू बी, तो हर चीज को, माहौल को समझ के लोगों के साथ आई हैव टू कैरी माय पीपल। दैट इज व्हाई आई सेड पर्सनालिटी हैज टू बी एक्सेप्टेड बाय द पीपल अराउंड अस। अगर हमारे अपने लोग हमको एक्सेप्ट नहीं करते हैं, इट इज नॉट गोइंग टू बी पॉसिबल फॉर अस टू बी इफेक्टिव। Entire personality development program has to be communication oriented. Then there are other things like self-analysis, there is time management, team dynamics, presentation skills, art of dressing, art of walking, all these things come in, but they're value addition to my personality. But the base has to be, I know me, I know my inside, I am truthful. You know, maximum lies हम किसको बोलते हैं? अपने आप से। एक बात और बताऊं, I have learned a lot of things from young people. In 35 years ago, from a 9th standard boy, I learned a very beautiful thing. I asked him, whom do you respect? We all of us will say, I respect my parents, my elders, my boss, my teacher. You know what he told me? He says, sir, I respect those who respect me. I gave him a hug. Because we really don't respect our elders. It is out of fear psychosis. हमको चुप बैठना पड़ता है, मजबूरी का नाम महात्मा गांधी. There is no other way out. So we don't. But I will be able to respect a person provided that person respects me. And I salute that boy. I still remember his name was Ronit. It's amazing that such bright, you know, I have always had a choice. I know if there are any senior people, they will be offended. I like to be people below 35 years of age, because moment we are 35 and above, we start getting stagnated. Hamara ek fixed notion. But the young people are full of bright ideas, bright thoughts. Those my core team, they keep on telling me, sir, I'm becoming 40. Will you shun us now? I said, not at all. Provided you remain as energetic, it is all right. But आप अगर सड़ जाओगे, तो naturally तो मेरे को जाना पड़ेगा, छोड़ना ही पड़ेगा, because the young people have lot of brightness, lot of energy, and let the energy come to us. That is why you will find the school teachers are a lot energetic because they are with children. But as we grow older and older, we are conditioned. I am not saying there are do's and don'ts in life. We have to abide by it. There are protocols, there are etiquette. I abide by all. But जब है, तब तो मैं बन सकता हूँ ना. जरूरी है कि मैं Tushar Guha is a celebrity man. So in public, I have to behave in a particular manner, fine. But then when I'm talking to you, why should I do like that? अगर मैं आपको ऐसा बोलता कि good evening, personality means that you need to know your inside and your outside. After some time, बहुत पकाया इसको बंद कर. Or number of them would have quit. I do not know how many have quit even now. I don't know. But the point is, I'm trying so that they don't quit. Because it's very, very important that I reach out and hold the others. Okay? I will end. We'll have a little question answer session, but before that, I'd like to sing a song. It comes like this. যদি তোর ডাক শুনে কেউ না আসে তবে একলা চলো রে, যদি তোর ডাক শুনে কেউ না আসে তবে একলা চলো রে, একলা চলো একলা চলো একলা চলো একলা চলো রে, যদি তোর ডাক শুনে কেউ না আসে তবে একলা চলো রে. This is Tagore's song. Mahatma Gandhi used this during Quit India movement. It says, agar aapke bulane se if nobody comes, you move alone. But I add a little bit more. But because, suppose now I am moving and I am alone. Can I Girish to just join me a little? I am alone. And seeing me, Girish sir got inspired. See, now you saw somebody held my hand. So now hold. Now that means it's my team now. No, it did not become my team because he held my hand. I did not hold. Can you see this? Because if I don't hold, it will remain like this. But if I hold, I can pull him. Okay, personality development is this. Am I able to take my people along, whether it is my own family, my neighbors, my relatives, my friends, my professional colleagues? Everyone I should be able to take them because I have to be accepted by the people. To end, you are all in the lovey-dovey mode mein now, hai na? Hamesha kuch hota hai, kuchi hota hai. Today is your time for infatuation. It is not love. I'll tell you the real components of love. Mutual respect for mutual understanding. Whomever I love, I must respect and understand that person. Be it a girl, be it a boy, be it of any gender. Others, it is not possible. वो प्यार नहीं होता है, वो कुछ होता है. That's good. कुछ होता है, and वो momentary होता है. धड़ होता है, बाद में सब fizzle out हो जाता है. आप लोग देखना, most of your I think up 10 times you fell in love, up 10 times you fell out of love. होता है, अरे गिरा था रे, अभी बाहर आ गया, गिरा था रे. Today morning I was having a lecture with corporate people, and there are some people who are 25 years old, and there's one lady who was 59-year-old bank manager. She said a very beautiful thing. Let us not fall in love. Let us be in love. That's the most beautiful thing. Like right now, I'm in love with you people. And only thing among all the representative, I can see Nishchal Sharma. So Nishchal Sharma, I'm in love with you, and pass on this in love to everybody else. Thank you so much for inviting me. Now I request, if you have any question, any queries, please do ask me. Thank you so much.
So before I think we move on to the questions, there's this one thing that I wanted to tell you, and I think pretty much everybody is going to agree to what I say. At this age, if I reach the age of 72, I wish I have at least 10% of the energy that you do right now. Because
wow, what a compliment! Thank you.
It's very unreal to put it into words. The kind of we just didn't know how time passed. We started at 5 o'clock. It's 5:50 already, and all the people in the comment section are going to agree to what I say. This kind of energy, the kind of the ease and the grace that you explain things with, I just hope that I kind of imbibe that from today, and I really become the person that I really want to. So thank you so much.
Believe me, Nishchal,
yes, sir.
Just be passionate to what you do. You will have this. There's no other secret. Yeah?
True. Definitely, sir. 100%. All right. So now what we're going to do is let's open a few questions to the audience. If there's
Yes.
anybody in the audience who wants to ask anything that they have in mind related to their personality or certain tricks that you want to buy from sir, you can just unmute yourself and start asking questions. We're open to your suggestions. So if there's anybody, if you can raise hands, you see the
How do I
title bar on
mute
the top of the
myself?
screen where you
Yeah.
can raise your hands and you can get to know and you can answer your questions. So if there's anybody who wants to ask anything, please let us know so that we can take your question and then we can move on. All right, I think I see a hand up. Tanvi Mhatre. Tanvi, can you hear us? Tanvi, can you please unmute yourself?
Hello, hello. Can you hear
Yes,
me?
Tanvi. Yes,
Yeah.
please.
So hi, good evening, sir.
Good evening. Good evening.
Yeah. So the only question I think, after watching a lot of webinars on personality, I think the only question that pops every time is like, what do I actually like? There's tons of different things we do since childhood. ये करना है, वो करना है. But what is that we actually like, and how do I identify it actually?
That's what, if you go back, I had said that we are always told that do this, do this. And in fact, we receive more don'ts than do's. So what I told you, anything that gives you joy, inner contentment, you feel happy about it, but it is not going to make harm others, then that's what is your joy. That's what you need to do. I mean, see, studies we have to do because this is your prime work. Is now you're in college, you have to study, you have to make a career. That's one part. That's the compulsory part. But that's not fully you. There are a lot more things other than that. That is you. That is Tanvi, right? So find out where you feel happiness. You may feel happiness in writing. You may feel happiness in singing or painting or playing tennis or anything. So that way you identify. Or you may just want to just take a walk and be alone. So that's also is perfectly all right. It is not that something concrete has to happen, but contentment has to happen because we have to be at peace with ourselves. Got it? I told this earlier, but because it's web, this thing may be difficult. Huh?
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
All right, I hope that answers your question. Let's move on next. Our participant is Mani Chandra. Mani, can you hear us?
So, sir, let me tell you, sir, you were very great. Means you were truly an inspiration for all of us youth. Uh, so, my question is, so as you told about that stylish and being rooted to our tradition. So,
Yes.
can you just tell me that how we be stylish and be rooted to our tradition too? Like we are, if we go outside. So it's a tradition that we eat with our hands. But
Mm.
it will look stylish if we use spoons and forks. So can you just
Yeah,
elaborate it?
yeah, yeah. Thank you so much for the compliment. I didn't get your name.
So Himani Chandra.
Himanshi, okay. Thank you for the compliment. But I like to tell you, even I eat with hands. I'm a Bengali, so we eat rice. We eat with hands. But at the same time, when you're in a public place, now personality development. If you remember, I said that we will have art of dressing, art of walking, etiquette and protocol. So naturally, there is etiquette in that. We also have table manners. Okay, so depending on where we are, what occasion we are, there if it is fork and knife, it has to be fork and knife. And then of course we must know how to hold the fork and knife. In personality development courses, we teach how to hold the knife, how to hold the fork, how to eat. So those are advanced things that one has to learn. So that you have to do. That's why I said we have to be adaptable. So, I mean, eating with hands does not mean that I am not. But again, eating with hands, how do you eat with hands? Because if you can see me, you cannot eat like this. Only this much of the fingers needs to be used. So there are ways that we have to do. Rooted through does not mean the uncouth part needs to come in. That I have to filter out, right? And I think you know about that because in public we have to, and that style needs to be maintained. I've never said that that is not to be done. See, when I mean that most of the time my lifestyle is I'm with that kind of crowd all the time, where it is an artificial society, and I have to balance accordingly because I said personality has to be accepted by the people around us, right? When I'm with them, I'm with them. But when I'm with the tribal people, I sit on the floor, I eat with my hand, I'm with them like that. Okay, depending on the occasion, you adjust yourself. Okay. Yeah. Next.
Thank you, sir. That's the best answer I could get.
Thank you so much, Umani. Thank you. Let's move on. We have Dhwani Purohit. Dhwani, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Uh,
Yes.
Sir, it was a really wonderful session. So, yeah, I wanted to ask that the thing you said that if someone doesn't respect you, then you should like you should not talk to him or you should not
No, no,
respect.
no,
Uh,
no, no.
Sorry, I'm mistaken. Like the thing
I'll
you said.
explain. Mani,
Yeah.
I'll explain to you. I did not say I will respect everybody, irrespective of the other person is respecting me.
Yeah.
But if I want respect, I have to first give respect because I believe everything stems from me, from the individual. So I have to respect, then that person will respect me. Even I give you my case. When I was doing this research of personality development, I told you I was laughed at, I was being ridiculed all along. But I continued to do, and my work conveyed was started convincing people gradually, and it took so long. In the year 2000, in 1993, the World Bank acknowledged my work. But by that time, I was almost 50 years old. So it is rather too late, right? If you go to see. So it is not that I will disrespect others, but I will continue to do my work without disrespecting. And then I will command respect gradually. That's what I had said. Okay.
Yeah. So actually, yeah. So that's what I wanted to ask. That people ridicule you, or else they say ये कैसी है कुछ बात नहीं करती है किसी से or whatever. Like so, sometimes things are very hurtful. So like,
Yes, yeah, I
how
agree
can
with
you
you.
deal
And
with that, or
specifically,
how
yeah,
can
I'll
you
tell you, at
overcome
this
that?
specific age of yours, this is very, very common. So you do EFT, what I told you, write it and get it out of your system, or you have a very close, real, true friends you can possibly share. And then at the same time, you have to make an effort to socialize. Today, world, I mean, our time it was different, your time, today you have to be real social, because otherwise we are not accepted so easily. And I'm very, grounded human being. I feel जो time के साथ बदल गया है ऐसा, like I'm basically a very publicity shy person, but today I'm no longer averse to publicity because I know if I have to be there, it has to happen. And with publicity, a lot of negative thing comes, but I have started taking it on my stride. So we have to learn to take it. You're very young. Really, for few more years, it will take you time, but you are not supposed to give up. It is nothing. It's every one of us go through all that. So don't worry about it. EFT kar lo, and then what you do is indulge in something that you enjoy doing. Then you will find you will divert your mind. I'm understanding, because what you're saying is at this age of yours, it pains you immensely. You feel very sad, very low. But who will help you to come out? Nobody else, no? You only have to. So do things that you enjoy doing, irrespective of what others are saying. So you need to have your conviction. And because what happens is, as I said, we are always compared, we are always criticized, and that truly brings us down. It does. There have been in my life throughout, there have been years where I cried alone. Nobody was there to wipe my tears. But today I wipe everybody else's tears. Times have changed. In fact, in 1993, when I was accorded by the World Bank, I went to, it was at Ravindranath Mandir, Prabhadevi. I went to the mic, I said, every dog has his day, today is mine. So it will happen. You have to give time, but we have to work for it. So work for it, you will be able to do it. Believe me. And in case anything, and something I want to tell every one of you, now that you all have known me, you all can get it from Tisha, you can get possibly my email address. You all can always mail me. However busy I am, I always reply to each and every mail. Of course, it comes to my secretary, then it comes to me. But aaj tak aisa nahi hua. I get lakhs and lakhs of mails, but I reply to each one personally. I will do it. Don't ever hesitate. Anytime you feel like, you do get in touch, and I will always be there for you, for guidance. But ultimately, each one of us have to do it for ourselves. I cannot do anything for anybody. Okay? Yeah. Come, next.
Thank you so much, sir.
Brilliant. Thank you, Dhwani. Right, let's move on. I think we have Harsh Shah. Harsh, can you hear us?
Yes, sir. Sir, you told us that when you are with all the students, then sir, you are you act like young, so your personality is different here. You told that a teacher a teacher should be accepted as a teacher by the student. So, sir, we need to change our personality according to with whom we are and what we are at the moment. So, sir, nowadays, when if we are with our friends or with our family, we act differently. So, sir, few people say that is fake. Yeah, you are not being yourself. So I'm a bit confused
Okay,
on that.
okay. Harsh, you have to take it in a larger connotation. I, as a teacher, I'm a corporate trainer, but I consider myself as a teacher. As a teacher, I have to see to my students, the group of my students, the receiving mode. A young boy and a girl of your age, what will be easily acceptable to you? What will be easily acceptable to a 40-year-old, to a 70-year-old? Accordingly, I mold, but I don't change my personality. My belief is the same. My value is the same. My approach is different. That is to that extent you have to. So then there is no fakeness. But if you try to pretend to be something else, if you hear all my, if you go to YouTube, you will see me. I've been talking to, there are lectures on to the corporates. There are, just now for COVID, I spoke to all the health workers and the medical professionals and all. But my essence has been the same everywhere. Only the approach is different.
Yes.
Approach will have to be different.
So, sir,
Nothing.
what?
My values cannot change, because then they will definitely say you're a fake, right? And you have very well identified. Absolutely, you're correct. Why
Yes, sir.
should I be fake? Okay,
Yes, sir.
that's what you have to do.
So the things in which I believe that should be strong and that should be stiff. But
Absolutely,
the way I
absolutely.
talk to different people, that should vary from
Hmm.
people to people.
The way you
So,
talk.
so
And
thank you,
there
sir.
are also certain times, also एक चीज मुट्ठी में बांध लीजिए, all issues, all problems do not get solved. So we must also learn to live with problems. After a
Yes.
particular age, you will notice. And so there are certain places where there is no point saying anything, because they're not in the receiving mode, जिसको हम लोग हिंदी में बोलते अपात्र में प्रेमदान नहीं करना चाहिए. Because if they are not going to appreciate, why waste your energy and time? I don't. Even I don't. Because I feel that is futile, because they will not understand. So let me unnecessarily, it will create ill feeling. The relationship will be spoiled. So let's not do that. Let's not damage. But see, you all are young boys. At your age, I also made a lot of blunders.
Yes.
Today I'm talking it so easily. But at your age, I also created, possibly I created more blunders than you people did. But it's good that I learned out of that. So we will all create blunders. And I never say do not. We must make mistakes. We might, but we are not criminals, right? We are making mistakes, but we are not committing a crime. These are two different things, right? So
Yes.
mistakes is a birthright. As long as then I do and I realize that I have erred and I will correct it myself, it's okay, perfectly all right. I loved your question, Harsh. Very nice, very beautiful.
Thank
Thank you
you,
so
sir.
much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Harsh. Thank you. Let's move on. We have Vansh Pandya. Vansh, can you hear us?
Hello, sir. My name is
Yeah.
Vansh Pandya. Sir, my question is how important is personality development in today's world?
Extremely. Why in today it has always been important all the time, but we possibly never gave it that importance. Now, agar you people, those of you all are from SSC schools, you must have noticed that 9th and 10th standard personality development has been a compulsory subject, and ICSE, CBSE life skills have been compulsory. I have introduced all this since 1994, and from 2006 they became compulsory, and because we were getting academically qualified in a particular manner, that is what to do we were learning, but we never learned how to do. Personality development teaches us behavioral science, because how to do is more important than what to do, because we all know this is what I have to do. But then who excels? Here I have a question to all of you. What is the difference between ordinary and extraordinary? The word extra only. Every ordinary man can become an extraordinary person. Tushar Guha has always been an ordinary. I have been a 43% student in SSA. But by the time I finished my honors in English literature, I had an honors in English literature. When I did my master's in economics from Pune University, I stood second class first in the university. So by that time, I realized that it is very important to score well, others I will not be able to do PhD. So if a third class student can reach here, every one of us can reach. So all ordinary people, we all have that little extra within us. Only we don't look into us. I believe the wealth is inside me. I have to search it within and I have to bring it out to the world. So it is equally important today, and today it is far more challenging. And therefore, today's personality development also has international corporate etiquette because we are global now. Globalization has taken over. So I cannot remain in a cocoon anymore. I have to be accepted not only by my immediate surroundings, but a larger circle. So therefore, personality development is very important. But I request all of you, do join anywhere, but please check it, because today, honestly, I'm being very old. I have realized that if in our country, too many personality development institutions have mushroomed. Who teaches us table manners, who teaches us art of dressing, but that's not personality alone. That is definitely an important aspect, but the other growth is very, very important. If I'm unable to have harmony in my own family, in my own friend circle, in my own profession, what kind of a personality do I have? Because at the end of it, all of us want to be happy. We want to enjoy peace, right? And that peace will come when I am peaceful from within. Therefore, it is very, very crucial to learn personality development.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Peter.
Thank you, Vansh. Let's move on. So, do we have enough time to take a couple of more questions? If that's
I'll just I'll
just
just take. I think take one more time. I'm just checking my office work. Do
Sure.
I have any other? I have another for what time?
All right.
10 minutes. 10 minutes more. I have something at 6:30. I think.
Yes. So we'll take a couple of more questions, and there's
Yeah,
one
please,
question
please,
that I
yeah.
personally want to ask you. So we'll take
Yeah.
that and then we can end this up. We have Yana. Yana, can you hear us? Yana Bhati.
Yes, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
My name is Jana, and as we all here know that you have had so many marvelous achievements throughout your entire career. So I wanted to know which one's your favorite till date.
The most thing that I enjoy is studying human relations. That I just love. I'm just passionate about. I feel enamored by how many people, how everybody is so different, how everybody is so interesting. Another thing I like, because you, Yana, you have asked me this. I have developed a habit. I never see bad in anybody. I only observe the good things, because there are for two reasons. One, if I see the good things, then I will also become positive and my relationship will be very good. If I look for the negatives, I cannot repair it, can I? I can't. Who am I? Who am I? What authority do I have to tell that you're wrong? So I don't look into it, but by appreciating each other, we actually grow. Unfortunately, in all our lives, we are more critical than appreciative. Seldom have you ever appreciated your mother, your father, or your seniors. Most of us have never done it. We do not, neither our juniors, neither. If you appreciate people, and you will find it will come back to you. And it is not because it is coming back, but because it is going to give peace within me. And I have been practicing this for years together, and I really find it to be very beneficial. A lot of students of me, of your age, have said, "Sir, आप सबको चने के झाड़ में चढ़ा देते हो." मैं बोलता, हाँ वही तो मेरा काम है. बोला गिर पड़ा तो मैं बोला उसका प्रॉब्लम है. चने के झाड़ में चढ़ाना मेरा काम होता है. But every one of us rise. To rising is difficult. Staying there is more difficult. So I enjoy this human relations the most. But then I also enjoy dancing, choreographing, and acting and singing. In fact, I enjoy cooking. I'm a damn good cook. I love to cook and feed people. So there are too many things I love. And believe me, in our time it used to be, don't be jack of all trades, be master of one. Today, be master of one, but be jack of all trades. One who is not jack of all trades cannot rise anymore today. Because today, multi-dimensions, multitasking is the order of the day. And I have been like this from childhood, so I fit into today's the changed world. Thank you, Jan.
Brilliant. Thank you, Yana. Thank you so much. Let's take one last question, then I'll be asking one last question, and then we can end this up. We have Isha Ratan. Isha, can you hear us? Isha, if you're saying something, you're not audible. Okay, I think there's some problem with her audio. Let's move on to Kevin Patel. Kevin, are you there? Kevin, can you hear us?
Good evening, Nishal. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Yeah, good evening.
I'm audible, Nishal?
Yes, you are audible.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm able to hear you.
Yes, Kevin, you're audible.
Am I audible?
Yes, Kevin, you are audible.
Okay, I think he's having some network issues.
His audio has some problem, I think.
Yes, so Kevin, we'll come back to you later. We have Shashank Maheshwari. Shashank, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there.
Yes, Shashank.
Very good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Insightful and fun session.
Shashank, can you be a little louder? It's very faint.
Hello.
Yeah. Can you be a little louder? It's very faint.
Sir, can you hear me now?
Yeah, now I can hear you.
So yeah, sir, the session I was talking about was such insightful session and fun. So my question, for my question, you have to go down your memory lane and tell me how did you feel when you created history and became the first doctorate in personality?
I'll tell you. Yes. Because Indian universities, and okay, I never had any ambition as such. Get a doctorate. I used to do my research, and I used to. But my students, people would join me, and I used to teach everything free. Of course, nowadays there's a lot of fee and all. But I used to teach everything free because I enjoy teaching, and because I had my own industry and business, so that was just to fund everything. And they, by word of mouth, it started spreading. So somehow the big people in the know, people in the key positions, they started hearing me. They started inviting me, and that's how it whole thing started. Mr. Naresh Chandra, who was the principal of Birla College in Shahar, who was also the pro vice chancellor. He was very well known to me. So he, and then Mrs. Kumud Bansal, late Mrs. Kumud Bansal, Secretary of Education, they also came in touch, and I became, even before I became the doctorate, I started became the advisor to Education Department, Government of Maharashtra and all that. And my book, so she insisted that I write my book, and they wanted that I should become, get a PhD. Now, Indian universities do not have this subject. So finally, then they started searching, and then they found this International University of Contemporary Studies, USA. They take such. So, and now, as a system, nobody can get a PhD without a guide. You have to have a guide. But unfortunately for me, the subject was only not there, so how could there be a guide? So when it was approached to the university informed, you don't have a guide, you cannot get a PhD. But there is a rule: if your work is published and gazetted with the government, then it can be considered. Fortunately for me, in 1996, my book Perceptions of Personality, written in English, Marathi, Hindi, and translated into Gujarati, was already the approved reference book by the Director of Education, Government of Maharashtra. So Mrs. Kumud Bansal sent that book, that it is approved reference. That was sent in 97. After that, it took 3 years that then they considered, and that's how they conferred the degree. So that's how I become the first person in the world, because I don't have a guide. Because I had questioned, I said, how come? That means even Adam and Eve were the first human beings in the world. So there must have been somebody who did PhD in physics first, or chemistry, or mathematics, or history. So there had been somebody who has been the first. So how could you do it? So to that reply they gave, that if your work is published, fortunately for me, it was already done, and that made me. So therefore, in my book, it is already printed there that under this he got the PhD. That is the history.
Brilliant.
But as I said, I'm a product of default. One thing led to the other, and it happened. God was kind, and my students were kinder. They really believed in me, and I'm everything what my people made me.
Right. Perfect. So I think everybody's got their questions answered. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of time in hand. So there's one last question, or in fact, 2 more questions that I want to ask you from my side, if I can do so.
I was really keen that you asked me some question because you're the only person I can see. No, that's why.
Right. The first one is definitely going to be from the field of performing arts. We're all artists, and there are times where our performance doesn't match the standard that we set for ourselves. Sometimes we feel that we've not done enough and we've underplayed ourselves, or we've just not done enough. How do you pick yourself up from those days? When you're having a very low day, when you know that you've not done well, but you also know your caliber. So how do you pick yourself up from those days?
Fortunately for me, I've always done well. Right from the I was always a topper in dance, topper in singing, and all my performance has always been a super duper hit. But yeah, yes, there are times when you feel it could have been better. Okay, and I think as an artist, what happens is you feel low. Artists are very, very emotional. We cry, and again, a lot of artists I see, they try to control their tears. They try to control. I say, don't break down. Try, get it out of your system. Because what's wrong? Okay, I have not done. I'm feeling bad. But then I always insist. A person should really be passionate and should have a lot of practice. Nowadays, what has happened? Everything is shortcut. We do not want to do much practice, but we want to come on stage and become a hero or a heroine or a lead. It is not possible. It can never happen. See, if you have to have 40 years experience, you have to be 40 years old. You cannot have at the age of 20, 40 years experience. Same thing is for any art, whether it is singing, dancing, acting. We have to be at it. We have to work. We have to have observation skill. We have to pick up. My daughter, Dr. Kshitij' Guha, who is now the managing director of Nityanjali, she is the dance curator of Kalagura Arts Festival. Okay, and Nityanjali manages the entire Kalagura Arts Festival, the dance section. So thousands of artists come all over the world, and we keep on interacting with. Now, because I'm a very senior person, I'm considered a guru, and other things are a little different. But then we have so much of learning from all of them, and our artists must develop a self-motivation. Like we are likely to be an amoeba, self-productive. So you are supposed to motivate your own self. That's when I said appreciate your body. That's when I said if I'm not beautiful in my own eyes. Will you believe this, Nishchal, that even at this age I spend so much of time in front of the mirror? I keep on looking, hi, I'm kitna sundar dikh raha hu. Abhi yahan par thoda wrinkle dikh raha hai. I think that goes with the age, but I'm looking like this. I do all this even now. Koi dekhega to mere ko pagal hi bolega. Mere ko to tumko pagal lagta hai, pagal banana, mere ko kya karne ka hai? But our artist will have to motivate himself or herself. No third person will ever come and tell you, no. Sabhi to critically karenge na. Everybody is waiting to criticize and pull you down, no. So you have to have your self motivation. खुद को जैसे कि पता है आई हैव रिटन लॉट ऑफ बुक्स एक बुक में है रियलिटी लिविंग में आई एम द एम्परर ऑफ द वर्ल्ड तो एक जने मुझे पूछा सर यू आर द एम्परर ऑफ द वर्ल्ड मैं बोला हाँ आपको नहीं लगता है आपको लगे ना लगे मेरे को क्या करना है आई कंसीडर आई एम द एम्परर ऑफ द वर्ल्ड दैट्स द काइंड ऑफ एटीट्यूड एन आर्टिस्ट विल हैव टू हैव मंच मेरे पैर तले That is the confidence, but the humility must also be there. जिनसे हमारे गुरु हैं, जिनसे हमने सीखा मंच पर, ये जो हमारे tradition है, and mind you, it is beyond religion. Whether the Hindu, Christian, Muslim, we all bow down to the stage. Even abroad, everybody does. So if that humility is not there, it is not. You cannot become a good artist. Aham आना नहीं चाहिए, क्योंकि anything that goes up comes down. तो रियलिस्टिक होना पड़ता है. मेक योर एफर्ट. थोड़ा सा अप एंड डाउन होता रहता है, बट ऑन द होल वी ऑलवेज मैनेज. दैट वाज योर फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन. द second question.
Yes, the second question is related to the theme. As you said in the start, Kshitij'20 Sapno Ka Safar. You've lived quite a dream of yourself when you started off. If you had to name your version of Sapno Ka Safar, what would it be?
I'm a very happy man. With all the ups and downs, I have felt high. I'll give you an example. When I was doing business, somewhere in 86, 87, there was a lot of companies closed down, and there were a lot of bad debts. And I was that time my company was not a private limited. Later on, it became. So it was a small company, and I almost had 4 to 6 lakhs of rupees lost. In a small company, it's a huge amount in the year 1985-86. पता है मैं क्या सोचता था? एक दिन I was sitting in my cabin at the midnight and I was crying. Then I suddenly realized, oh God, I have touched the bottom. I've come down to the ground. Now it is a very good thing. Guess why? I said मैं सीता मैया तो हूँ नहीं कि धरती फट जाएगी और मैं अंदर जाऊंगा. तो मेरा only option is now to rise, and that I stood up. I said, now I'm going to make it, and I really made it. So I have, my goal has always been, I've always loved to be happy. मैं sadness में भी मेरे को सुंदर था. जब भी मैं I used to cry, then I used to look at the mirror. Oh my God, the tears did not fall properly. तो आप लोग शायद मेरे को बोलोगे mental है, but I am like that. And I really cherished. See, अभी जैसे कि मेरे बाल नहीं हैं, एक टाइम था जहां पर ये सामने था. I used to call it sadhana cut, and the people used to say, आप speech में भी बोल रहे हो sadhana cut? मैं बोला हाँ. वो आप लोगों को मालूम नहीं, there used to be an actress called Sadhana. She had love in शिमला में ऐसा कट हुआ था, तो मेरे को खाली सामने था. अभी वो भी चला गया. तो अभी now I look at it like this. What options do I have? Look, all of you are so handsome or beautiful with a lot of hair, but you are so frightened. कभी भी बाल गिर सकता है. I have no such fear, no. बाल है ही नहीं, गिरेगा क्या? खाली मुंडी गिरेगा तो मर जाऊंगा. But I have another option. Do you know there's an organization called Baldies International? I can always apply and become the president of Baldies International. But for that, उसमें क्या है? Totally एक भी hair नहीं होना चाहिए. लेकिन मेरा अभी भी है थोड़ा side में. Now only thing I can pray, ये भी गिर जाए तो one day I can be a contestant. तो I am a very positive. पर मैं हर चीज में, जैसे मैं बोलता हूँ कि सभी लोग मर जाएंगे, मैं मरने के बाद भूत बन सकता हूँ. Invisible Mr. India. So I have always been, I'm an extraordinarily optimistic person. I mean, it's difficult to digest me. If you meet me in person, आपको after some time ना ऐसा लगने, बाप रे ये कितना बोलता है, कितना ये है. But I am like that. What to do now? अभी इस उम्र में तो change नहीं हो सकता ना बेटा. I will remain exactly the way I am. So that has been my, if anybody says, ki, how do you describe yourself? How? But I just loved what I enjoyed, what I did. And I didn't bother about who was criticizing. I didn't even want to compete. I didn't even want to know. मैं मेरा काम करता गया, अपने आप everything started falling in my basket. That's all it happened. Right?
I think, this has been such an enriching weekend, and it's been a perfect end to this weekend that we could ever have. Sir, Dr. Tushar Guha, thank you so much for being here. And I think from the entire committee of Kshitij', from all the teacher in charges, from all the volunteers, from the entire working force, I really want to thank you on everybody's behalf. It's been nothing but an absolute treat to talk to you. And I think I'm going to be boasting about in my friends that I've literally spoken to you, and it has really made my day. So thank you so much, sir, for being here.
Thank you so much. I bow down to all of you because so much of positivity in you people and the vision that you had for personality development. Thank you so much. God bless you all.
That means a lot. Thank you so much, sir. If you could please say bye to all the people who've been writing.
Bye to all of you. And pandemic is just getting over. So now just get recharged and come back. But do follow the norms of the mask and all that for some more time. It will be possibly for another 6 months. We need to be little careful. But ये भी सोचना, मैं ऐसा सोचा था हमेशा, कोरोना मेरे पास आ नहीं सकता. बिकॉज मैं कोरोना को आने नहीं दूं, क्योंकि जब मैं यमराज को ही आने नहीं देता तो कोरोना क्या चीज है. और दूसरा भी मैं हर एक को बोलता था, आई डोंट बिलीव इन पामिस्ट्री एंड ऑल दैट, बट बॉयज के लिए, मेल्स के लिए राइट हैंड, लेडीज के लेफ्ट हैंड, वहां पर एक आयु रेखा होती है. उस चीज को देखो, काफी लंबा है, तो नथिंग टू वरी. कोरोना में आप मरोगे ही नहीं, कोरोना आएगी जाएगी, तो मैं तो जी जाऊंगा. I have been telling everybody like this, even in my speeches during corona. So that's what I would like to tell all of you. I have although I could not see you, but I could get the vibe. I could get the positive vibe even through the net. And that has filled my heart. Thank you so much again for inviting me. And specifically, I'm not meeting Prisha and Yashvi. Do tell them and your committee members that I literally enjoyed and felt very contented. That is what I always believe when I go for a talk. I need to feel happy. And I have felt that. Thank you so much.
It's all you. It's the positivity that you emit, sir. And I think we'd be even more glad if we can have such sessions with you over and over again. There are so many people who've been texting us.
We will.
So we'll be giving your email ID to them, and hopefully they text you all their doubts and problems.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a great week. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, guys, that was Dr. Tushar Guha. It was a brilliant weekend. It feels so amazing talking to someone like him. And that's the specialty of this festival. Every time you think that there's nothing more to come, they come up with something that really sweeps you across your feet. It's been such a pleasure, a perfect Sunday evening. I hope that you guys have a great week ahead, and we shall see you very soon. If you want to know what's going to happen next, stay tuned and follow Mithai Kshitij on all social media handles, and we cannot wait to show you what's coming next. So please stay at home, stay safe, and take care of your family, take care of yourself, take care of your loved ones. We shall see you next time around. Until then, it is a goodbye. Thank you.